with the end of this Fortnite season drawing ever closer every second we sit here and wait, literally a week away from today where I am right now, depends on where you are in the timeline to understand whether it's happened yet or not, but basically, nothing makes much sense. So I'm here today to explain everything that I can try and explain to the best of my abilities, and also tear Zero Wall to shreds because I love bullying that comic. Please stick around. I'm going to explain everything if you don't understand, and if you enjoy it, subscribe. I'd appreciate that. So, basically, from my understanding, the reason you're looking at this weird pyramid scheme-esque thing is because this is how the last reality works. At the top, we have the nothing, that might be this guy, because of the weird square-like thing he has on his face, which is quite similar to how it's all pixelated, because it's on Paint 3D, for God's sake. It might be that guy, that's what people are thinking. I kind of agree. I think it could be this guy. It fits. It seems like he'd be a character that would be the nothing just by his design alone. Here's the thing though, the way it works is because we thought the Cube Queen was the leader of the last reality, and then the Herald showed up and we thought, oh, the Herald must work for the Cube Queen. No, because then they both work for the nothing, right? The nothing is the one in control. He is final boss man. Underneath them we have the Cube Queen and the Herald. The Herald's a bit more interesting because I want to draw your attention to something interesting about the Herald. She looks kind of like, probably the biggest stretch I'm going to make, but if we look at the alien fauna and also the Herald, they kind of seem a little bit similar, just a little bit. That's kind of my point with that. But also the Herald's got weird chrome powers, which don't really make sense. Like, the design thematically and the chrome powers make no sense, but that's Fortnite for you, so what are you going to do? Bottom tier, we have the cubes, the Chimera, which make no... well, they don't make no sense, but they're confusing in the way they work. I'll explain in a minute. And then there's Bites. Bites is self-explanatory. They were corrupted by the Chrome and the Nothing, and now they are a warrior of the last reality. And then we got the Origin over here, who used to be the Cube King, but he's a traitor. Listen to the song, it explains a lot. Then we have the Sideways. Alright, the Sideways is interesting and weird in context, because it's the reality the cubes seem to come from, which I guess kind of makes sense. They don't really look like they'd come from a reality like that, but sure, that's all the Sideways really is. It's explained partially in DC Comics that Sideways rifts are the rifts we used to teleport around the island when it was Season 5, Chapter 1. So then we have the Cube Cradle and the Last Reality Ship. So it's called a cradle, which means it's like a mother. It's like the main mothership, even though we had the mothership. These are all just motherships, and that's the Cube Cradle, which contains multiple golden cubes, which makes me think there's multiple Cube Queens, or whatever, which I guess would make sense to replace, because I don't know, she might even be dead and need replacing. Like, she might not even be alive. There was a skin in the leak, like, with this one as well, that looked like it could just be a replacement for the Cube Queen. Who knows? Like, I don't know. They had, like, the golden armor and that. It might be a replacement Cube Queen, because they had a replacement cube for the Cube King, which was the Origin, and they replaced it with the Cube Queen. So, maybe. Or she's fine. Who knows? But overall, this is the last reality and kind of how it works. But the Chimera are interesting because they don't fit. Realistically, they don't exactly fit into any of this, right? But they were the foot soldiers in Season 7, Chapter 2. Which makes me think they must be some sort of slave race, or going along with what the last reality say, or they were engineered and are all just clones, which would make sense as well. But I think they're probably just a slave race, and they are controlled by the last reality to, well, do their bidding, I suppose. But this is the last reality and how it works, pretty much, to my understanding. It's like a hierarchy, with the nothing on top and the pretty much this lot on the bottom. Because if you think about it, the theories are these guys are all pretty much slaves, and it would make sense for them to also be slaves, right? The Chimera. Because Bites is pretty much now a slave to the last reality after being corrupted by the Chrome. He's now a slave to them, I guess. And the cubes, well, there's a theory that the cubes aren't even in control. And when Sloan shut down the original cube and we had to revive it, that was us bringing it back to life as it used to be. Which means that the cubes are good, but they're not in control, which could be an interesting plot point for the future of the story of Fortnite. We'll just have to wait and see. The Chrome is more confusing though. The Chrome power that the Herald has, it seems to be, it takes control of things and it's able to make things, well, it just doesn't make, I don't understand it. Whether or not the 7 are dead is interesting. I doubt they are, so we'll have to wait and see. The only ones I can say aren't dead are probably the Order, the Foundation, and the Paradigm. Where the Order and the Foundation went, I have no idea, but we know where the Paradigm is. In reality, 6-1 something. Was it 6-1? 6-9? No. We'll get to it. The Paradigm, at the start in the trailer for this season, well, not at the start of the trailer, near the end of the trailer, sends herself to a reality through the 0 point. This reality is reality 659. Now, what reality 659 is unknown, but it's theorized that it's the Paradigm's home reality, which would make sense, because why else would she go there? Now, Paradigm has been contacting us through messages over the course of, well, parts of this season, because Paradise quests were at the start and right at the end. So, you know, thanks for the amount of storyline you gave us, Epic. This season wasn't at all boring, storyline-wise. What the Paradigm mentioned was a project called the Loop Breaker Project. She asked us to ask Jones about it. For clarification, this is what I mean.
We need to keep fighting, especially when we won't win. Ask Jones about the Loop Breaker Project. He thinks it's confidential. It's not.
The theory is, on what the Loop Breaker Project is, it is MIDAS. Now, the reason people think this is because MIDAS is the only one in the loop, who was in the loop, who was able to stop the loop. It may have only been for a short amount of time, but he was able to stop the loop. If you remember correctly, back in Season 2 of Chapter 2, in the live event, the device event, he was able to stop the loop for only maybe a few seconds. He stopped the loop for maybe half a minute, and then it reactivated. And he did that with his the Doomsday device, or the device. It's theorized that to break the loop, which is what they want to do, they need help from MIDAS, and he is Project Loop Breaker. From a storyline standpoint, it would make sense for it to be MIDAS. But that's Project Loop Breaker and all we really know about it, except for some images that got leaked earlier while I was making this video. I don't have time to show them. Okay, so I'm going to explain why Fortnite Zero War ruins everything. Okay? The continuity of Fortnite Zero War and the Fortnite storyline cannot coexist together in the same continuity. Because if that was the case, then either Season 2, Chapter 3 cannot exist and is non-canon, or Fortnite Zero War isn't canon. It can only be one or the other, and I will explain why. Alright, first things first. Thanks iTalk for uploading a full comic reading of this, so I don't have to pay for Zero War again. I'm not paying for Zero War again. Yeah, credit to iTalk pretty much. Go subscribe to iTalk if you've not already. What I'm saying, here it's fine. This makes sense, alright? The mech's not got its arm, fighting the Devourer, everything looks normal, right? Now, here's where things start getting, broken in the lore. First of all, there is this small bit of dialogue here, alright? This, where Jones doesn't know, or Jones thinks Gunnar is Geno, alright? This is a nitpick, by the way. This isn't even the complete, like, massive problems. This makes no sense, alright? Why would Jones think Gunnar was Geno? Jones would not think Gunnar was Geno. Jones would know who Geno was. This is Marvel humor right here. This entire comic page is Marvel humor, and I hate it. with a passion. Alright, so now the problems start to kick in, guys. I'm not even going to talk about what is illustrated here, because first of all, we all know this is bullshit. But so the Ice King is here, and he talks about virtually nothing that really means anything anymore. It would have been nice to know back then, but, okay. And then there is, this right here. There was apparently a fight, on the island. I wonder when that was, because I never saw that happen. And then there's, this. Now, I thought, okay, it's just a front cover. But no, in the comic, the actual goddamn comic, it has the arm. And it doesn't even get a new paint job or any of the upgrades. It just goes down to the island in Zero War 5 and then literally nothing changes. It makes no sense. It doesn't work that way. The comic is rushed, is what I'm trying to get at. And it is bad. It is a terrible comic, right? If you ask me whether I recommended Fortnite Zero War or not, I'd have to say no. 100% no. Do not read Zero War. It is a waste of time. It is one of the worst comics I've ever read in my life. Do not read Zero War. It single-handedly ruins a ton of Fortnite lore in its pages, because Marvel. Basically, if you want a correct term of events of what happened within Zero War and Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2, I will explain it, alright? Because there is one thing that Zero War cannot work. Like, Zero War can function, but then it can't at a certain point. And that is the fact that the Paradigm was in the mech, and she piloted the mech, and then she flew to the Ice Moon, and had been on the Ice Moon from Season 9 Chapter 1 to Season 2 Chapter 3. That does not make any sense, and could not happen, simply because there were 7 rockets in the end event, which means she had to be there. And don't give me time travel bullshit, because Fortnite doesn't have time travel bullshit. We thought it did, but it doesn't. It's not time travel, it's reality jumping or whatever. Also, why would the 7 even have rockets, right, if they weren't already on the Ice Moon? I think the whole excuse for everything that happened in Zero War was simply so they could shove Marvel characters in, alright? And I'm conspiracy, conspiracy. It definitely was to shove Marvel characters in, because it made no sense. It made them the stars and the Fortnite characters just kind of there. It's just so bad, alright? What is the correct turn of events, alright? So, Paradigm helped the Imagined Order in, Season 9 build the mech so they wouldn't destroy the monster by destroying the island with a doomsday device like the Collider, alright? So then the Paradigm flew to the Ice Moon, where the 7 already had a base. The 7 already have a base on the Ice Moon at this point, otherwise, why on earth would there be a base there in Season bloody 2 of Chapter 3? That wouldn't make any goddamn sense. So, they're already there, alright? They already... Let me just get the official Fortnite video. We'll get the official Fortnite video up, alright? So, basically, what I think truly happened in this live event. See, you can see there's already a base here. There is already a base on the Ice Moon. Why on earth would they have a base on the Ice Moon already with rocket pads? This is a hangar, by the way. This place is a hangar, right? They didn't just build this thing to repair the mech. It was already there. So what must have happened next is the Origin and the Foundation were pissed, of course, because they saw Paradigm as a traitor for working with the Imagined Order, and they weren't having any of it. So the Paradigm pretty much took her rocket and she dipped. She left, and she was nowhere to be found. She was gone. Right? She was wherever Reality Zero is, flying about somewhere, because God knows there's nowhere to go around it. It's just a void, pretty much. Time jump forward to Season 2, Chapter 3. And now they have got the Paradigm back because they have been contacting her. And they were contacting her in Season 1 of Chapter 3. And this clears up a lot of plot holes with the actual overarching story of Season 2 of Chapter 3. By having the Paradigm willingly come back to help them. and then only then is she able to explain, and the Origin and the Foundation listen because they are on the verge of, well, everything being destroyed. Which, yeah, fair enough, makes a bit of sense. But then, they already have this hangar built. The mech is already on the moon, of course, so they're just able to move the mech here and rebuild it with parts and stuff and create the 7 mech, which is shown... The 7 mech, which is, of course, shown... about here, look, see, the 7 mech, alright? Or whatever it is. Let's get a better image, guys. Give me a second. Oh, best live event, by the way. Best live event. Don't at me. There we go. The 7 mech, right? And only then are they able to come back to the island and take out the Imagined Order. Also, you don't see the Marvel characters in the event at all, which makes me think it was a last-minute thought. I won't lie. I won't lie. It must have been a last-minute thought, because the story was already planned out for this season. Zero War just felt like an afterthought that just messed everything up with this season and the lore entirely. So, because you don't see them. They're not here. I mean, sure, they've got skins in-game. Maybe they were there, but they didn't have as big a part to play. The whole bullshit of Thor and Storm needing to go with the 7 to the Ice Moon to be able to fucking make it habitable for them is just bullshit, in my opinion. I think it makes no sense. Also, in Zero War, we aren't even under here when Sloane gets defeated. It's dumb. It's dumb. Don't read Zero War. I'm not even going to get into it properly. Also, what happens here is they go into... They go in... Also, one of the stupidest plot points in Zero War is the Imagined death. If you haven't read Zero War, the Imagined dies in Zero War because she and Geno fall into the 0 point, alright? And Geno... And the Imagined dies shortly after... But Geno also dies at the same time, because that's where they go here. They go to literally a blank room with... They go into a blank room with just Jones, the Foundation, Geno and the Imagined. Geno and the Imagined die. Geno says some stupid bullshit, and that's it. That is it. And then they go back, and this part here just shows them on another loop. This is just them on another loop. Like, everyone thought, oh, they've entered Geno's reality. So that means they're not going to be around. But then Season 3 happened. And then Geno repieces himself at the end of the season. So maybe Geno is the loop breaker. Who fucking knows? I don't care. Zero War's bullshit. And it ruined everything, guys. So the only way I can make sense of it all is the event happened. The Paradigm coming back happened. The moon already had a 7 base on it. They just didn't live there because it wasn't the perfect place to, you know, stay. It also makes sense from a meteor standpoint. Where would the meteors come from? The Ice Moon. You know? They have a base up there. They have meteors that come in through the Ice Moon. So dumb. So stupid. So, and then Season 3 happens, and they're already back. So they don't even enter Geno's reality. They're already back in Season 3. And that's pretty much why Zero War sucks, and it is half non-canon. Some of the information that gets told in Zero War is canon, but half of it is just like, you can't take it as canon, or else it just doesn't make sense with the continuity. It doesn't fit together. Unless Donald Mustard pulls out some shitty card, like Uno Reverse card at some point, and makes it make sense. Zero War I am deeming as a non-canon piece of shit with bits of canonicity in it. And now we reach Fortnite Fractured. Alright, this is the end of the season. This is the live event of the end of the chapter, even. Now, there are some things I want to point out here that haven't really been pointed out yet. So, first of all, bites. I don't know necessarily if people in this image are going to play a big part in the event. I doubt it very much so. But if I had to say someone had to, maybe Bites. They seem to be important as a warrior of the last reality. And then there's Chaos Agent. Whether or not they just put Chaos Agent there to fucking... Just to put him there, or whether he's important... Maybe it's a teaser for Midas, even. Because he's one of Midas's shadows, so he might as well be a teaser for Midas showing up in the event. I think that's plausible. So what do I think is going to happen in this event? Alright, so of course the island is being destroyed by crime. That's the first thing to see here. The next thing to think about is, what does that actually entail? What's actually going to happen here? So I think Project Loop Breaker is going to be activated where we destroy Reality Zero. How that will help, because I'm pretty sure, isn't that what the last Reality want? They want Reality Zero to be destroyed so they can destroy the 0 point and be the only reality, of course, which is why they are the last reality. Which, okay, interesting concept, but I don't understand how destroying the loop will save the loop. That's something we have to wait and see for next Saturday, I suppose. The best way I can probably explain what might happen is because in the information it says that we need to reforge the island. So, let me just... You see, it says that on this, how to play, parties are up to 4 players. Yeah, by the way, guys, you can only play in a party of 4 players. It's a squad. I love live events where it has to be a squad. Also, get your free toasty roasty emote from the for logging in on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, guys. So pretty much we gotta reforge the island. Where does it say it? It says it's somewhere you gotta reforge the island. Well, you can join in progress, by the way. It's 30 minutes. You can join in 30 minutes prior. It's like it's a 40-minute live event though, guys. So yeah, I don't know where it says it, but it says you have to reforge the island, pretty much. Which, what does that even entail, guys? Does it mean part of the live event's gonna be the map being destroyed, then the rest of the live event is gonna be us, the players, remaking Reality Zero? Or are we gonna be, like, taking parts of other realities and creating a new Reality Zero? Because it's always been a theory of mine that Reality Zero is actually just other parts of realities that make it up. Like, the entire place is just other realities, things taken from other realities, and put into this world, or put into Reality Zero to create one reality, which makes everything a mishmash of parts, pretty much. But overall, I can't really explain what's going to happen here, because, of course, I haven't seen it, and no one has yet. Overall, guys, I think this is all summed up pretty well. This is only from my mind, and what I understand. I might be wrong on a lot of things. I was wrong on the paradigm theory, partially, because I missed out a bit of evidence, and I was wrong on the Chaos Agent Chrome theory, but, like, come on. I didn't think they were going to add another Goop character into the game because they already had one. It's like, it's sitting right there and you don't use it? What is wrong with you? Basically, yeah, I got nothing.